This week's tip is about two other decreases, the SKP and the KSP. These two decreases aren't used that much in America. You will see British books that use the SKP, which is slip, knit, pass over. You almost never see the KSP, which is a right slanting decrease, but we include it in the master's program because there are uses for it. Now, to do an SKP, you need to slip a stitch, and that's one reason why it's a less preferable choice. And whenever you're slipping a stitch for a decrease, what you want to do is just barely touch it. Just use your needle tips. You slip the stitch, you knit the next stitch, and now you need to pass this stitch over. And this is where it can really get stretched out, so you just barely, barely, barely touch it. And you can see that it stays approximately the same size as the other stitches. And again, I'm using way oversized needles for this worsted weight yarn so that you can see the stitches a little clearer. Now the KSP, which is a right slanting decrease, is almost never used. We include it in the master's program because you might want to use this if you're having difficulty getting your SSK or your SKP to match your knit two together. You could use this in place of the knit two together, and it's going to give you a larger looking decrease, so it will match. It'll be big, but it'll match. Now, since it is knit, S, slip, pass over, that's exactly what I do. I knit the stitch, okay, but because this is going to slant to the right and I'm going to be passing this stitch over, I need to transfer it back to my needle, and I just barely, barely, barely try and manipulate this thing, and you can see that it's pretty big and nasty looking decrease, but it does slant towards the right, and it is a match for the SKP. Well, actually, now it doesn't look quite so bad. Next week I will be talking, well, not next week, I'm going to be out of town for a couple of weeks, but in the next blogs that I have, I'm going to be talking about twisted stitches and how to avoid them, both in decreases and just regular twisted stitches.